7th straight postseason win. And now the Rangers can break out those brooms from 2 weeks ago because they are on the verge of a second straight sweep. In overtime, 3-2 the final, Rangers beat the Carolina Hurricanes in Game 3. Inside our Delta MSG studios, John Giannone alongside Steve Valiquette. A perfect postseason continues with what was a rather imperfect game until Artemi Panarin at 1:43 of overtime strikes for the victory.
We were barely getting settled in. And one thing we oftentimes say is it either ends early or it goes long. Thankfully for the Rangers, it ended early. It ended early because Igor Shesterkin gave them a chance. And remember, Ranger fans, you don't need to apologize for having the best goaltender in the world. He's a player on the team like everybody else. And he was awesome tonight. Awesome. That's another stolen win. In saying that, I did think over the course of the game, the Rangers still had the better of the loud chances, the big chances off the rush when you think about the Rangers being able to have 4 breakaways in this game. Early in the hockey game, the first 9 shots Carolina took, all perimeter. I think that sets the stage for Shesterkin to get right back into the rhythm that he had on Tuesday, to play with that same enthusiasm and confidence this evening. I love the game because of the resilience from the Rangers. They were getting out-hit, outshot in the first part of the game. It wasn't until Kreider scored his goal that was 8.5 minutes into the second period that the Rangers started to turn the tide a little bit. But they were able to weather that storm. And let's not forget, that's all it's about with Carolina's game plan. They don't have a game plan on the power play at all. They have no game plan. But what they do have is chaos. It's written on their hashtag for Twitter. It's their storm surge celebration that thankfully we didn't get to see. But that's all they're doing. They're just throwing stuff at the net, and nothing stuck for them until late in this game to tie it up.
Yeah, well, the numbers were 47-25 shots on goal advantage for the Hurricanes. Igor Shesterkin made 45 saves. He now has 99 in the last 2 wins. And here is how it ended at 1:43 of the extra session. It didn't take long for the Rangers to win the game. And it came from Artemi Panarin, who was able to score off of a rush into the zone. Take it away, Steve-O.
Well, I think that right at this moment right now, you're just trying to settle in and feel the pace of the game. How are we going to play?
How did that go in?
Yeah, it's a forecheck again. It's unsettled offense that works for the Rangers.
Lovely.
And that is what we would call a shovel deflection. And Artemi Panarin has the ability to make that play. We know all about that. But again, what I think matters most is what happens before the play. You back that up several seconds, and it's being able to get into the zone and never allow Carolina to get set up. The weakness in Carolina's defense, and I think the Rangers just completely stole their soul with that goal, being up 3-0, is that they can't get set up when you forecheck them. You have to play them that way. Just never allow them to set up. If they set up in their D-zone structure, you don't get that look. But that's a quick strike by the Rangers because they were smart with their preparation before the period begins. That is being prepared for an overtime. Once again, this reflects coaching. These guys were ready to go, able to get it in the air, cross corner, and then get in and be able to make a play. I think that the Rangers, they have a very good understanding now with a 3-game stranglehold on this series, John, how to play these guys, how to play them. I mean, geez, that's a masterpiece, really, of just being able to get through it, weather it, patience to take your time to strike. Very impressive.
And when you consider what has to happen for a goal to be scored, puck hops over Orlov's stick, right to Trocheck, throws it toward the net, and there's Artemi Panarin back to the net between the legs, is able to redirect it past Pyotr Kochetkov, and now the Rangers have a 3-0 lead. Rangers now, once again, Steve, have a night where the top 6 contributes all the points. Right?
You know, it was before this game, we were looking at things in the pregame that would reflect how the top 2 lines are playing. And what I look at is primary passes to set up a scoring chance or a scoring chance itself. Add those up, and you always want to see, at least in the top 5, you want to see your top 6 players show up there. And that's the case right now. All of the top guys are playing at that level.
And nobody more top than the guy in goal, right? We wondered whether there would be any level of fatigue from Igor Shesterkin after playing 80 minutes plus the 7:24 of the second overtime. and he goes out and has another night like he did. As I said before, 99 saves now in the last 2 games.
And I think this was the critical error for Carolina. You can't warm the guy up before this game really gets going. And thankfully for Igor, it starts on a penalty kill. And by the way, for Ranger fans that are watching this, I always think that's a good call. If you're going to give up a penalty early and the Rangers are going to face a bunch and Shesterkin's going to get warm, I like that outcome for them. So I don't mind it. Igor rides it from there. That's the best save of the game. That was off the shaft of his stick. It's a 2-on-1, 2 minutes into the second period. Very settled here as well through the game. Not a lot of rebounds that gave him or his defenseman difficulty locating, and that's a big thing because the way that he's playing, it's very predictable for everybody around him, and that's why everyone's able to settle in and protect the house. Not a lot of rebounds in this game. I don't think the overall difficulty was anything near what he felt on Tuesday.
And yet, again, the Rangers make a storyline out of special teams.
Yeah.
They score a shorthanded goal, and the Carolina Hurricanes again don't score on 5 more chances. That's 0 for 15 in 3 games in the series. And now you consider what the Rangers were able to do. Kill off every one of those in the series, but also score when they're down a man.
Yeah, so they have better high danger opportunities the Rangers do shorthanded than what Carolina is able to establish within their power play. And that is crippling them in this series so far. Carolina is having a very hard time putting together a plan. They don't have a plan. They're playing 5-on-5 hockey when they are playing 5-on-4. And that's where the issue is for them. They're having a hard time.